Man and Machine is brought to you by Highflex Mobile Hose Service, Shannons Insurance for Motoring Enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.
Yeah, baby!
Unbelievable!
Now we're talking.
We're at Richard Petty Motorsports in Concord, North Carolina. This is actually the NASCAR team that our very own Australian Marcus Ambrose actually drives for. So how about we go inside and take a look around. So Kyle, tell me what happens here at Richard Petty Motorsports.
Well, here at Richard Petty Motorsports, what we do is we assemble and prepare all the cars for our two Sprint Cup teams. One driven by Marcus Ambrose, which everyone at home is probably pretty familiar with, and the other one's for Eric Almirola. We have a technical alliance with Roush Fenway Racing who actually builds our cars as far as the chassis and hangs the bodies on the cars. But all the other prep work that goes into the cars is actually done by all the people and mechanics here at Richard Petty Motorsports.
And tell me, how many races would you run a year in NASCAR?
We run 38 races a year. We race from beginning of February to the end of November.
And tell me, what's your job here? What do you do?
My job here is I prepare all the rear suspension and all the rear suspension components for both Sprint Cup teams. And I also get to change tires on the number 9 Stanley DeWalt Ford for Marcus Ambrose on the weekends.
Now that's a profession on its own, isn't it, being part of the pit crew on the day?
Yes, it is. It's actually like I have two jobs. My job during the week is actually to prepare and work on the race cars. My job on the weekend is I strictly focus on just pitting the race car. So once I get to the track, I don't have to worry about the cars at all. My 100% focus goes into actually pitting the car on Saturday night or Sunday.
And what sort of training do you do on a weekly basis to be pit crew?
We train really hard. We practice 4 days a week. We have a facility where we actually drive the cars in, do live pit stops just like we would do at the racetrack.
With the Roush Racing relationship, do they take care of engine development as well?
There's actually a separate company that we use. It's Roush Yates Engines. They actually assemble and prepare all the engines for all the Ford racing teams.
Tell us about those engines. Tell us about the specification, the size of the engine, and what sort of horsepower do they make?
It's a V8 engine, approximately 358 cubic inches. We run fuel injection this year, which we've run in the last couple of years. That's come a long way. A lot of development went into that. Right now, the engine's probably, 800 plus horsepower. It's a lot. It's a lot
naturally
to try to
aspirated.
get. Yeah, naturally aspirated. It's a lot to try to get the rear tires hooked up to the racetrack. So the engineers we got have a hard job trying to get that power to the ground, week in and week out.
Wow, what sort of RPM do they turn to?
We turn roughly about 9,500, 9,800 RPM.
And just for the viewers out there, I mean, these engines turn that hard and make that power for a very long period of time.
Very long period of time. 4 or 5 hours. They take some abuse, and those guys do a great job. We have great reliability. We have really good fuel mileage. So we can't complain. Those guys do a great job for us.
Highflex Mobile Hose Service, your complete hose breakdown and on-site service partner. Highflex Mobile Hose Service offers a complete range of quality guaranteed hydraulic and industrial hose and fittings products. We also specialise in preventative maintenance programs such as on-site hose condition auditing, testing and compliance. With our national fleet of qualified technicians, you can rely on Highflex Mobile Hose Service's rapid response to all of your needs. Call 1300 Highflex, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Shannons Club, a hub for motoring enthusiasts. So join, create your own garage, share pics, videos and stories of your current and past machines, connect with other enthusiasts. Be sure to watch Shannons Club TV with a host of dedicated motoring channels, including past episodes of Man and Machine. So jump on board with Shannons Club. I'll see you on there. So Kyle, tell us what happens here at RPM.
What we're seeing here, these are our Nationwide Series cars. What we use this program for is to help develop drivers, crew members, what it allows them to do is get track time, get experience, you know, and then what eventually we'll do is we'll move these people up into the Cup Series. It's a really good program, works out really well for us.
So this is like a support category on the same weekend as the NASCARs?
Yeah, most weekends they are running with the Cup cars. They usually run their race the day before. The race is usually about half the distance of what the Cup race is.
So these are like a tamed back NASCAR, are they? Or
Yeah,
are they...
yep. Yeah, a little tamed back, a little less horsepower. They don't have some of the aero package that we have. As you see, they run the Mustang body instead of the Fusion, so that's specific just for the Nationwide Series.
And Kyle, we've got a chassis here.
Yeah, this is through our technical alliance with Roush Fenway Racing. This is how the whole process starts. We tell them that we want a new chassis. They build us a brand new car. This is the very start of the process of what we do here at Richard Petty Motorsports.
And some of the work that goes into these chassis, they look like a work of art.
It is. It's a masterpiece. I mean, these fabricators are really talented. They're so nice you almost hate to put paint on them.
And I would imagine structural integrity is very important for the way the car handles, but also safety for the driver?
Yes, safety is very important, and NASCAR's big thing is safety. It actually has crumple zones built into it. I know it's just like a production car. They added this bar for this year. It's kind of an intrusion bar. Cars were flipping and landing on top of each other, so they needed to do a little extra reinforcement to the roof to keep our drivers safe.
Wow. And we have a body over here?
Yeah,
on
over
the chassis?
here, and then this would be the, after this part of the process completed, what we'll do is we'll send it to our body hangers, which work up the street. They will put all the sheet metal on this car, as you see, fit it to all the NASCAR templates, depending on which racetrack we want to go to. The noses, the hoods, the tails, they're all composite. So what you see is when we wreck them,
Expensive.
it's expensive.
but very light and strong.
Very light, very strong. They withstand a lot of air pushing on them. 200 plus miles an hour getting into the corners at some of these racetracks we go to. So they see a lot of abuse. Even though you might see a car come home from the racetrack without a scratch on it, we might have to cut the whole body off of the car just because of the way the air pushed on the car makes the body no good anymore.
Wow.
Now that you get to see that car in primer over there, this is actually the next step in the process. What we'll do is we'll send it to a different department, and what they'll end up doing is they'll spray the whole car, paint it, then they'll actually apply all the decals to it. Clear coat, some cars get clear coated over the decals for speed, some of them don't. After we run this car for one race, every decal you see on here will get peeled back off the car. All the paint will get scraped off with a razor blade by hand, and they will actually repaint the whole car.
Wow, I mean, obviously with aerodynamics, and we're talking 200 mile per hour, any small line or raised area on the bodywork can mean lost mile per hour.
Yeah, it creates drag on the car. And actually our super speedway cars, along with many teams in NASCAR, will actually put 5 to 6 coats of clear coat over the decals and wet sand it to make it as smooth as possible so it cuts through the air better.
Now for the Australian fans at home, this car looks very familiar.
Yes, it does. Yeah, this is actually Marcus Ambrose's Stanley DeWalt Ford Fusion.
Fantastic.
So now that we've got the car out of paint and body, it's ready to get assembled. This process here is what you see. We put the car on jack stands so nobody gets hurt. You don't have to chase the car around. What we're doing is putting all the suspension components on, front and rear. Fuel cell goes in the car, the oil tank, and most importantly, Marcus's seat. Guy's got to be comfortable. He's going to be in that thing for a long time. It's going to be 130 degrees in there. Got to keep him comfortable, got to keep him hydrated. So this is what you'll see is suspension components go on, brakes go on. We'll install an engine eventually once we get it from Roush Yates. And then the next step in the process is actually the car has to go to the surface plate to be set up for that track configuration, whichever one we're going to that weekend. Could be a short track, could be a super speedway, could be a 1.5 mile track. So week in and week out, these components change. It's not like we just build one car and it goes to every racetrack. Each car is purpose-built for that racetrack we're going to that weekend.
And I would imagine in building a car like this, there's no room for error, is there?
None. We measure everything within 10,000ths of an inch. All the front end geometry, rear end components, all the setup components are very, very close.
One small fault or failure could cost a championship.
It could. It cost you a race, cost you a championship, or even worse, maybe get your driver hurt. and that's the last thing we want to do. I mean, we take a lot of pride in our work here. We have very few errors as far as when the car hits the racetrack. So now that the car's had the engine installed, all the suspension components installed, seats in, driver comfort stuff's done, next step is for the car to be set up. Donnie here, he'll set the actual height of the car that we want it to run at and do all the front end settings, rear end settings, everything that has to be done to this car before it goes to the racetrack.
I notice you've got scales there on each corner for corner weights and setting up.
Yeah, he sets up the corner weights, the nose weight of the car, the percent of cross weight in the car that we use. So every week might be different.
So where you run a road circuit, for instance, sake, you might have something that's it stops and turns in both directions, where for an oval, you'll bias the car for one direction, is that correct?
Exactly, yep. We almost carry twice as much weight on the left side of the car as we do as on the right for an oval track, where a road race, we want the car pretty balanced, you know, pretty symmetrical.
What sort of weight are we talking for these cars in total?
These cars weigh a little over 3,400 pounds. NASCAR has the rules set up to where we'll add weight or take weight away depending on the weight of your driver. So it keeps it fair for everybody. This is what we call the grid. This whole grid is built to fit over this car. We'll lower it down over the car and check all the templates front to rear on the whole car. And some of the tolerance is our 30 to 40 thousandths. That's how close NASCAR keeps the rules for all the competitors.
There is an advantage in the vehicle body shape being altered and changed for more speed, so NASCAR keep check on that to make sure all of the bodies are the same. Is that correct with these templates?
Doesn't let one manufacturer have an advantage over another one. So now it's all dependent on Marcus. It's dependent on his talent a lot to get these things around the racetrack.
He's got plenty of talent.
He's got
no shortage.
Yeah.
So what do we have here? This looks like an interesting contraption.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat contraption. What some people call this is a K-rig or a pull-down rig. And what we'll do after everything's done with the car's been set up, we're getting ready to take it to the racetrack, we'll actually simulate what the car is going to see on the racetrack on this fixture over here. They can travel the car, move the wheels up and down, make sure our springs are right, nothing's rubbing, nothing's binding, just make sure all the setups are right where we want them to be.
So you're virtually simulating what's happening on the racetrack before you get there?
Yes, it's just a lot slower speed. This way the engineers can sit and watch the data of the car. They can watch how the springs work in the spring buckets. There's a lot of information that we can get off of this fixture to help us perform better. Now that the car's been off the K-rig, everything's finalized. We know where the setup's going to be, or at least where we're going to start. What we'll do is we'll pull the car off to the side, we'll put it back up on jack stands, and all the mechanics that travel with this car will go through every nut and bolt on the car to make sure nothing has been missed. And there's actually a 6 or 7 page checklist that every guy in their certain work area has to fill out. If something's not signed off, the car will not get loaded onto the truck until this checklist is complete.
So effectively, once this check's been done, it's loaded on the truck, it hits the racetrack, it's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
Well, wasn't that absolutely fantastic? Isn't it great to see the inner workings of a team like Richard Petty Motorsports? You don't realise how much goes into building and preparing these cars until you see it firsthand. Anyway, now let's go over to Walt Disney World Speedway and see what it's like to drive a NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Dennis. This is my 32 and I run Aeroflow.
Hi, I'm Paul. This is my Attack 56 and I use Aeroflow.
I'm Scott. This is Blown Inheritance. Makes 1,700 horsepower and we depend on Aeroflow.
Hi, I'm Graham Cowan. For race-winning performance, I choose Aeroflow. Aeroflow, way to go.
Aeroflow, manufacturers of professional hose, fittings and a whole range of performance products to suit your vehicle. To download the latest Aeroflow catalogue, go to aeroflowperformance.com. Proud supporters of the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars.
Damn, there's just no room under here.
There's no need to do this anymore when you can buy a Tough Lift hoist starting from only $24.50. With over 20 models in their range, including 2-post, 4-post, scissor lift, motorcycle and truck. They're great for storage too. All Tough Lift hoists have Australian standard certification and WorkSafe design registration. With an impressive warranty, in-house technical support and installation options Australia-wide, what are you waiting for? Check out toughlift.com.au.
I love my Tough Lift.
Hi, Hi, I'm Carolyn Kruger from On Track Accounts. Not only am I a racing fan, but I love my motorsport at every level. If you're a car enthusiast like me, come in and have a chat about your business accounts, BAS lodgements, or getting your personal tax ready. We're a small but dedicated team of enthusiasts, and we like nothing more than getting your accounts back on track. Find us at ontrackaccounts.com.au.
We're at Walt Disney World Speedway in Orlando, Florida. That's right, it's NASCAR time. And I'll be undertaking a Richard Petty driving experience. This is where people just like you can come off the street and get to drive a real NASCAR. Firstly, we'll be going through a driver's briefing, some theory, and we'll learn the ins and outs of these NASCARs, how they work and how to drive them. Then we get to do 8 laps in anger with an instructor around this racetrack. These cars here aren't full-blown NASCARs, but they still are the real deal. They're tamed back a little to 6,500 RPM instead of the normal 9,500 to 10,000, but they've still got a whopping 600 plus horsepower. So it's time to stop talking and get into the action. I've done drag racing, I've done road or circuit racing, but I've never raced a NASCAR before, or even sat in one. So this is going to be a very, very interesting experience. Drag racing, yeah, there's a lot of skill involved, but it is effectively in a straight line. It's about hooking up and keeping that car straight. Road racing, there's corners, left and right, accelerating, braking. There's so much involved in processing that in the mind. But don't think that NASCAR will be an easy deal. They're high-speed, oval tracks like this one right here. This is a tri-oval, so it has 3 very long straights. The cars are actually biased to turn one way. They don't need to turn left or right in an oval situation. We're talking about 600 plus horsepower here and around about 3,400 pounds weight of this vehicle. Big, slick tyres, so they're a big, heavy beast and they really do need to be manhandled. Think about this too, at high speeds. You lose that car, you get a bit out of shape, a bit loose, hit a bump, something like that, you could be off into the wall in no time and destroy the car and look pretty silly. That is something I'm not about to do. I'm going to get 8 laps here, I'm going to give it the best shot, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a ball. Well, viewers, it's time for some NASCAR action. We've got Eddie here, my instructor. Let's get out and hit the track.
Honey, what are you doing out there?
Waiting on the next super blowout 3-day only mega sale.
You don't need a sale, you need MPD.
NPD's everyday prices are competitive, and our huge in-stock inventory and dedicated export department allows orders to arrive fast to Australia. National Parts Depot has quality parts for Mustang, Camaro, Chevelle, GTO, Firebird, Ford, and Chevy truck. Go online or email export@npdlink.com.
Working beats waiting.
A tough car needs a tough oil, and that's when you need Gulf Western Oil. It's Australian-owned, developed and manufactured in their state-of-the-art production facility. So no matter what you drive, you can be assured you're in the right hands for all your lubrication needs. Gulf Western Oil, the tough Australian.
Right, let me go ahead and start you up here again. Glenn, give it a little gas. Hold it there, 2,000.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put it in first gear. All the way left and up, very good.
Got a decent camshaft.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Still good power at that sort of RPM.
They've got about 650.
And that's at what, 6,500, 7,000, is it?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. They turn them to what, 9,500, 10?
On the newer ones, yes.
Big ones, yeah.
Go ahead and gas it up.
Yep. We're right to go, are we?
We're good to go, Glenn. Once we clear the cone, out to the center right. There we go. Gas it up. Gas it up. Go to second gear, Glenn. Gas it up. Third gear. Copy. Around the left, down to the base of the access road. Just kind of maintain your speed right there. Let him go by. All right, squeeze into the gas, Glenn. right, stay off the gas, down between the second two and to the left, all the way to the white line. All the way to the white line to the left. Hit the double cone, you'll squeeze back into the gas, you'll move up the hill, aim for that orange cone outside wall, put you right between your gates, and all the way off the gas, all the way to the left, white line. Pick it up and maintain there, Glenn. Double cones, green, gas it up. Over to the right, green flag is in the air, at the cone, off the gas, and slowly down to that white line. Put the left side tires on the white line and keep them there. Pick it up and maintain. Double cones, gas it up, Glenn. Gas it up. Back over here to the right. Put that pavement seam right there under you. Maintain your speed right there, Glenn. Off the gas and maintain your speed at the cone. Off the gas. Off the gas. Off the gas. To the white line. Wait on your cones. Wait on your cones. Gas it up. Back to the right. Aim for the single orange cone. And all the way off the gas. To the white line on the left. Wait for your double cones. Gas it up to the right. All the way left. There we go. Hold it right there. Pick it up and maintain. And gas it up. Back to the right. Look up, good. Yeah, very, very grippy. All the way to the cone and then all the way off the gas. First set. Second set. Slowly down to the left. You got to be smoother on the wheel, Glenn. Off the gas till you get to the cones. Gas it up.
I'm taking bites at it.
Yeah, you got to
be more progressive.
Just very smoothly. Gas it up. Back to the right. How's that feeling, Glenn?
Feeling great. Loving it. Get to know the track a bit better now.
Yes. Gas it up. All the way down to the single orange on the right. Come on over to the right. And all the way up the hill. Stay up and slowly down. Wait on the double cones. Continue to turn. Turn now. Turn. Gas it up. All the way to the single orange cone. And all the way off. To the left. Doing great, Glenn. Keep it up.
I'm getting the hang of it. I'm getting the hang of it. Just learning the track.
All the way off. And slowly down to that white line. Keep it all the way down. Wait on your double cone. Next thing it turns. Gas it up.
I can't believe the traction in this thing.
Yeah. Come on over to the right there. Very good. At the cone. All the way off the gas. Go up the hill. Stay up. Slowly down. Keep it on the white line now. Keep it on the white line. Gas it up. Gas it up to the right. And all the way off. To the left. White line. Wait on your cones. Gas it up. Gas it up all the way to the single. Next time by, we're going to take checkered flag, Glenn. So gas it up. Back to the right. All the way out to the right again. At the single orange cone. All the way off. Go up the hill. Stay up. Up, up, up. And slowly down to that white line. Keep it on the white line. Wait on your cones. Gas it up. Gas it up to the right again. And all the way off to the left. White line. Double cones. Gas it up. Checkered flags in the air, Glenn. Great job. Off the gas.
That was great fun.
Thanks for coming up, man. Off the gas.
Thanks for looking after me.
All the way down there. We're going to, all the way to the left to the green grass on the left, Glenn. All the way down to the left.
Yep.
All right. What'd you think, man?
That was great.
You enjoy that?
It's like anything, you've got to be able to dial into it. But it's good to have you in the car to give me a bit of a gauge. It's quite a tricky part of the track there where it's got that rise.
Exactly.
I reckon that would bring a lot of people unstuck.
Yep, you don't know where you're going till you get to the top there.
Well, it's sort of, the car can become very light probably over that, and I bet you know a lot of people have ended up in that wall.
They test it out here. You'll see it occasionally during testing. There we go, all the way up now. We're going to stop with the nose of the car parallel with that cone. And right there. Good deal. Glenn, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure meeting you, man.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't believe it out there. I tell you what, it's not as easy as it looks. It'd be very easy to put this car into the wall, but the traction and the power, unbelievable. There are certain parts of the track that are a little undulating as well. I reckon you could get yourself in some serious trouble if you got a little bit too brave without enough time on the track. So, Eddie? Thanks very much. You're a great instructor, mate. That was awesome. Thank you very, very much. That was awesome. I've had an absolute ball here at this Richard Petty driving experience. Now do yourself a favour. If you're ever holidaying in the USA, get yourself along to one. They have them all over various racetracks all around the country. Whether it be a driving or a ride experience with kids right through to adults, you'll have an absolute ball. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you next time on Man and Machine.
Next episode on Man and Machine, our USA journey continues. When along the way, we stop in and check out National Parts Depot's mind-blowing 200-car collection. Muscle cars, classics, you name it, this is one you have to see to believe it. Man and Machine is brought to you by Hi-Flex Mobile Hose Service, Shannons Insurance for Motoring Enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.